The Premier League opened up with a bang this past weekend with Man City and Arsenal doing what they do. Man United, though, were a little bit lucky, weren't they? We're going to talk about that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. We look forward to match number 2 in the Premier League, that's right, and we'll get to that in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you been, smash the old subscribe button, bang the old things, Blackburn Rovers related, Premier League related, world football related. We're going to all here, boys, under one Rooski. That's right, United, they won. That's of course a massive 3 points to them early doors in a game that should have been, on paper, a piece of bloody piss. But Wolves came and delivered, and of course should have even had a penalty at the end of that game. But of course, football's football, and of course, the same old shit, different day happening. The VAR, of course, we'll talk all about that and more in a second. Of course, if you're new, of course, check out the links down below, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course, but let's get into it, of course, and have a look at how I got on, how you guys got on in the old Super Brew / Prediction League, whatever you want to call it. But of course, let's recap the results right here, right now. Kicking all off with the opener. It was Burnley against Manchester City, despite my disgust for those six-finger freaks. I actually predicted a draw for them in that game. My logic out the window. 3-0 win it was, Man City. So they're up and running. Arsenal, 2-1 win over Forest. I went with a 2-0 win myself. Bournemouth and West Ham duked out to a 1-1 draw. Excuse me. Meanwhile, Brighton over Albion opened up a cannibal pass on Luton Town. 4-1 win for them. 2-0 win in my eyes. Not too shabby. Fulham squeaked one past Everton, 1-0 win for them. That's a good win for them. Early doors in the calendar. Sheffield United, of course, lost to Crystal Palace. Big win for them on the road. Newcastle, though, with the performance of the weekend. 5-1 win over Aston Villa, that's right. Brentford 2, Spurs 2, got the one spot on. Chelsea 1-0, 1-1 against Liverpool. 0-0 in my eyes. And, of course, I did go with the Manchester United victory, but I went a little bit more convincing than that. So, not too shabby, of course, but Newcastle, Brighton, opening up some goal-scoring flair this past weekend. City are also up there with Arsenal, with Fulham in the mix. In the very, very stupidly early Premier League table, Luton, Burnley and Aston Villa will want to change that fast down the bottom of the table, though, to get out of that dark zone down there, the old relegation zone. Of course, the Super Brew is wide open, guys, which, of course, are coming at you this coming weekend. We're going to start on Friday night. Not too long ago, this game was a championship affair. It's Forest up against Sheffield United. Played each other 33 times since 1997. Got 10 wins apiece and 13 draws, of course. Forest opened up with a defeat last round against Arsenal. Sheffield United the same. The biggest win for each other, 3-0 win. Of course, Forest have scored 39 goals in those 33 games, 1.18 goals game ratio. Up against Sheffield United, the biggest win again, 3-0 win. Scored 36 goals in those 33 games, 1.09 goals game ratio. It's quite tight between these two sides. Last time I played each other, though, over at the City Ground in the league, it wasn't the championship, it was the 1-1 draw back in November 2021. They have played each other in the playoffs to get to the Premier League, I believe. And of course, Nottingham Forest had the better results on that one. Of course, Sheffield United with a loss against Palace at home. Forest with a defeat away to, of course, runners-up last time around. Arsenal, 2017 on is your Forest. They are favoured to win this game. 5-2 is draw, 60-5 is your away win, of course. But regardless, for me, I'm going to go, of course, with the home side here. 2-0 win for Forest. So take the 3 points and, of course, get the first win off the block. Sheffield United, of course, will then make it 2 out of 2 without a win in their locker so far. Of course, next up we have Aston Villa. That's right, coming at you. This actually on Sunday night, August the 20th. So we're playing hopscotch here with the predictions. Now, these two sides have played each other 55 times since 1993. We've got 23 wins for Villa, 13 wins for Everton. We've got 19 draws, of course. Aston Villa, the biggest win for them over Everton, 4-0 win, scoring 80 goals in those 55 games, 1.45 goals game ratio. Up against Everton, of course, biggest win for them, also 4-0 win, scoring 68 goals in those 55 games, 1.24 goals game ratio. Of course, Everton, though, 75% form for them under Sean Dyche over the last 6, including pre-season, so let's not get too excited. 67% form for Aston Villa, though, over Unai Emery out of the last 6. Again, I don't read too much into it because of the pre-season. Last time around, though, over at Villa Park, it was a 2-1 win for Aston Villa back in August 2022. Villa with that 5-1 loss, big one to get over, of course, against Newcastle. Everton with that 1-0 loss at home to Fulham. The odds for this one, as we look at it on Sunday, remember, 13-8 on is your Aston Villa, got 60-5 is the draw, 70-4 is your away win. So it looks like the bookies are backing Villa despite despite that spanking against Newcastle. I, of course, am backing Villa on this one, 2-0 win for them. I've got them finishing high in the table, maybe opening day, shocker, and of course put that behind you quick, and of course move up the chains you go. Next up we have, it's Crystal Palace, that's right, up against Arsenal. Again, this was on Monday night, we're going all over the shop here. This was at Selhurst Park on the 21st of August. Of course, Palace managed by Roy Hodgson played Arsenal 26 times in 1994, just 4 wins for Palace, 8 draws and 14 wins for Arsenal. Of course, Palace, biggest win for them over Arsenal was a 3-0 win, scoring 29 goals in those 26 games, 1.12 goals game ratio. Of course, Arsenal 5-1 win was the biggest over Palace, 49 goals scored in those 26 games, 1.88 goals game ratio for Mikel Arteta's boys, who have won 4 in the spin, all competitions at all venues, including the Community Shield and the opener. Palace, of course, back-to-back wins for them, 67% form for them over the last 6. Again, last time around, though, at Selhurst Park was a 2-0 win for Arsenal. That was back in August 2022. It was on match number 1 last time around, so match number 2 this time around. Palace have just won once of the last 6. That was at Selhurst Park. That was, of course, a couple of seasons ago as well. Palace with that 1-0 win over Sheffield United. Of course, Arsenal with the 2-1 win over Forest most recently. But the odds for this, we have 90-4 is your Palace, 60-5 is the draw, 20-11 on is your Arsenal. Arsenal favoured here in this London affair. Going to go with a 2-0 win for them on the road. And again, that's on Monday night. That's right. Let's go into a Saturday. That's right. It's Fulham. It's Brentford. It's, of course, at Craven Cottage. Both sides unbeaten so far this campaign. Played each other 16 times in 2014. 5 wins for Fulham, 8 wins for Brentford. And we've got 3 draws, of course. Fulham, biggest win for them over Brentford. 2-0 win, scoring 20 goals in those 16 games. 1.25 goals game ratio. Up against Brentford, though. Biggest win for them. 3-0 win over Fulham, scoring 30 goals in the 16 games. 1.88 goals game ratio. However, without a win in the last 6. Fulham, though, 50% form for them right now, winning 2 on the spin. That rolls in from pre-season into the actual season. Last time around, of course, in the league, in professional Premier League status, was a 3-2 win for Fulham back in August 2022. That was match number 3 last campaign. Of course, Brentford with a 2-2 draw against Spurs, big result for them. Fulham with a 1-0 win away to Everton last time around. Of course, the odds for this one, 8-5 is your Fulham, 13-8 is your Brentford, 12-5 is the draw. Mitrovic looks like he's gone, but of course, they didn't need him last time around. Going to go with a draw again on this one. Brentford, of course, playing a hard ball here. Fulham will remain unbeaten. Again, next up we have Liverpool up against Bournemouth over at Anfield. Of course, Liverpool unbeaten. Bournemouth also getting a draw on the opening day. Played 15 times in 2014. We got 12 wins to Liverpool, 2 wins to Bournemouth, and 1 draw. Liverpool's biggest win over Bournemouth, what was it? It was a 9-0 win, scoring 42 goals in those 15 games, 2.8 goals game ratio. Up against Bournemouth, their biggest win, 2-0 win, sorry, a 1-0 win, scoring just 10 goals in the 15 games, 0.67 goals game ratio, of course. Last time around at Anfield, it was that 9-0 win. It was way back, of course, match number 4 in August. Of course, Liverpool, 67% form for them right now, just 1 defeat past 6 up against a Bournemouth side who've won 3 of the last 6, 58% form, again, from pre-season onwards. Bournemouth with a cheeky 1-1 draw against West Ham. Liverpool with a cheeky 1-1 draw against Chelsea. So both sides getting a point in the opening day. Of course, maybe a staggered start. You'd want to get up and running with your first win. And of course, I think that first win is coming for Liverpool. 5-1 on for the victory this weekend. Of course, overwhelming favourites, 11-2 the draw, 12-1 is your way. We're backing Liverpool, we're backing them big as well. 3-0 win, of course, and they'll be up and running, of course. Next up, we have a Luton Town against Burnley. That's right. This is going to be an absolute cracker. I'm actually trying to find. Actually, this one's postponed. Fuck's sakes. That's right, because of Luton's ground. Playing catch up, I guess. So this game is not going ahead. But if it was to go ahead, I would have gone with a 1-0 win for Luton. Of course I would. But when this game comes back around, I may have to revisit this because there might be injuries, suspensions, who knows. But this game ain't happening. Next up, of course, we have Manchester City up against Newcastle. Here we go. This is a bit of a zinger, isn't it? All eyes will be on this one. This coming Saturday on the 19th of August at the Etihad. Played the 49 times in 1994. We've got 31 wins for City. We've got 9 wins for Newcastle. We've got 9 draws, of course. Biggest win for City, we got 5-0 wins, score 101 goals in those 49 games, 2.6 goals game ratio. Up against the Geordies, biggest win for them, 3-0 wins, scoring 45 goals in those 49 games, 0.92 goals game ratio. 4 wins on the spin for Newcastle at the moment. Up against Manchester City, of course, won 4 wins out of the 6, 67% form for them as well. Last time around, though, over at the Etihad, it was a 2-0 win for Manchester City, of course, unbeaten against Newcastle over the last 6, picking up 5 wins and just 1 draw. Of course, both sides opened up with a convincing win. Newcastle 5-1 win at home to Aston Villa. Man City with a big 3-0 win on the road. The odds here for this one, we've got 5-3 on is your City, 3-1 the draw, 17-4 is your away win. City should win this one. Going to go 3-1 win. It might be a little bit feisty, especially if Newcastle take the lead. In my eyes. Next, of course, we have another zinger chicken dinner. It is Spurs. It is Man United. Of course, all eyes on this one. as well. Of course, middle of early evening game over at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Of course, 66 times they played each other since 1993. 10 wins for Spurs, 44 wins for Man United, 12 draws, of course. Spurs' biggest win, 6-1 win, scored 64 goals in the 66 games, 0.97 goals a game ratio. Up against United, 4-0 win was the biggest, 118 goals scored, 1.79 goals a game ratio heading into this one. They're unbeaten, though. United over the last 3, pick up a couple of wins and a draw. That's 42% form for them over the last 6. Spurs, though, 58% form for them right now, winning 3, drawing 2 and losing 1 over the last 6. Spurs, though, last result against Man United was a 2-2 draw back in April 2023. They haven't won, though, in the last 5 games. United picking up 4 wins out of the last 5 and drawing just that other one, which was, of course, the most recent one. The odds for this game on Saturday, 90-10 is your Spurs. We've got 13-5 is the draw. 11-8 is your Man United. Of course, if the United perform like they did against Wolves and Spurs show up, this could be a one-sided affair for Tottenham. But I do expect a tight one on this one. 2-2, tight but entertaining goals in this one. That's how Ange Postecoglou plays. And United will have to match that if they're going to be going to get something out of this game. Next up, of course, we have West Ham against Chelsea, Old London affair. That's also on Sunday, August the 20th. Now, these two sides have played 56 times since 1993. We've got 16 wins for West Ham, 30 wins for Chelsea. I've got 10 draws, of course. West Ham, biggest win for them over Chelsea, 3-1 win, scoring 54 goals in those 56 games, 0.96 goals game ratio. Up against Chelsea, though, 4-0 win for them. That's their biggest over West Ham. 95 goals scored in those 56 games, 1.70 goals game ratio, of course, heading into this. Chelsea, though, unbeaten in the last 6, 75% form for them right now. West Ham, though, without a win in 4, but they are a bit busy in the transfer market this week. James Ward-Prowse coming in. They might have brought some other ones as well, so they look quite savvy. Last time around, though, over at the London Stadium was a 1-1 draw back in February 2023. Chelsea unbeaten over the last 3 against West Ham. They opened up with that draw against Liverpool. West Ham with a draw on the road to Bournemouth. But the odds on this one, we have 3-1 is your West Ham, 5-2 is the draw, 11-10 on is your Chelsea here. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Chelsea, but I think West Ham will be very competitive and in this game, and they might even nick a draw. Of course, there's Wolves up against Brighton. That's right, over at Molineux. Of course, maybe some positive signs from the game against Man United now to give Wolves fans a bit of hope under Gary O'Neill. De Zerbi's boys, though, Brighton are going to be there to try and take all 3 points themselves. 24 times these two sides have played each other since 2002. Got 5 wins for Wolves, 8 for Brighton, 11 draws, of course. Brighton, 6-0 win was the biggest over Wolves, scoring 36 goals in the 24 games, 1.50 goals game ratio. Up against Wolves, though, just the 1-0 win was the biggest over Brighton, scoring just 22 goals in those 24 games, 0.92 goals game ratio. So the recent form, or the form over the last 20-odd years, is not great for Wolves against Brighton. They come into this on 50% form for them at the moment, 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. Brighton, though, winning 2 of the last, actually just lost 1 to the last 4, 42% form for them heading into this as well. Last time around, though, over at Molineux was a 3-2 win for Brighton back in November 2022. Wolves' last victory over Brighton at home was back in May 2021. Again, that 1-0 loss to Wolves ringing in their ears. Brighton with a big 4-1 win over Luton to open up their account as well. The odds for this one then, we've got, where are we? I'm trying to find it. It's Wolves, 3-1 for the victory, 11-10 on is your Brighton. They are favoured here, 5-2 is the draw. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Brighton as well. I think Wolves did great, and they were unlucky not to get something from the game in Man United. I just think Brighton will come with the tails up. They look good, free scoring, and go with a cheeky 1-0 win. And this, my friends, is my predictions. That's right, of course, recapping the results from tip to top there, of course. And if I'm right, which I bloody well will hope so, this is what the table will look like, of course. Man City top, Brighton second, Arsenal third, Liverpool up there in fourth, United up there in fifth. That's, of course, early doors. Don't forget, of course, the Super Brew. See if you can out-predict me and the gang in the old prediction league. That is it, guys. Of course, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell. Of course, your one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, for the Premier League and world football. Of course, we've got it all here under one roof. And hopefully I'll see you back for match number 3, which of course ain't too far away, guys. So see you then, be safe, subscribe, and of course I'll catch you later on the flip.